hanging. I'm David Pumpkins, and I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
Why the f was that so popular? On October 22nd, 2016, on the 4th episode of the 42nd season of Saturday Night Live, the Haunted Elevator sketch aired, also known as the David S. Pumpkins sketch. It was an immediate hit with, like, everyone. Well, most people. This person hated it. We get the memes we deserve, and unfortunately, at this juncture in history, we deserve absolute trash. Okay, relax. A lot of people now list David Pumpkins alongside some of the most beloved SNL classics, like the Matt Foley sketch or More Cowbell. It went super viral on YouTube. It was all over the media. They even made a 21-minute animated Halloween special about David S. Pumpkins. It wasn't bad, but it was something.
Mom, we're home.
Your house smells weird.
They even have David S. Pumpkins Funko Pops. This character has definitely made its mark on our culture, but it's hard to pinpoint what it is about this weird comedy sketch that made everyone fall in love with it. Is it extra funny or particularly well written, or was it just a right place, right time kind of thing? Hi, I'm T1J.
Follow me.
Yeah, all that. Listen, I need you to click the subscribe button. There's no time to explain. He'll be back any minute now. Just click the subscribe button, and I think everything will be okay. Okay, good luck. So I'm guessing that there's probably a lot of people who know what David Pumpkins generally is, but have never actually seen the sketch. Basically, it's about a cheesy theme park attraction that's a haunted elevator with ghosts and monsters that jump scare you on every floor. But the young couple experiencing the ride is baffled by the frequent appearances from David Pumpkins, a decidedly non-scary Halloween mascot played by Tom Hanks.
What's my name?
David S. Pumpkins!
Any questions?
Yes! Several!
David Pumpkins is joined by his two dancing skeleton sidekicks, and they dance together to a goofy tune inspired by the old viral video Little Superstar. And that's essentially it. There are some parts of it that are pretty straightforwardly funny, like the name David Pumpkins is such a low effort name for a Halloween character, or how the couple struggles to understand just exactly what David Pumpkins is supposed to even be.
Yeah, see, I get why she's scary.
Yeah, creepy girl from the ring, but David Pumpkins? I mean, is he from something?
Yeah, like is he from a local commercial or?
I mean, now that I'm talking about it, it is pretty funny. But is it More Cowbell funny? Is it Funko Pop funny? On the surface, it's just another silly, nonsensical SNL sketch. They do stuff like that all the time. SNL these days is known for its political and social satire, but the show also frequently uses pure silliness and absurdity for its comedy. Just for fun, here are some of my favorite absurdist SNL moments, completely out of context.
It's not luggage got luggage. It's just a bunch of luggage from someplace.
Dr. Reginald Saunders.
He's handsome.
All this is to say, I don't know if there's anything super special about the comedy of David S. Pumpkins. In fact, they used almost the exact same premise a few months earlier when Larry David was the guest host. Except instead of Halloween monsters, it was FBI training targets. And instead of David Pumpkins, it was Kevin Roberts.
I'm Kevin Roberts, and I'm the coolest fish in town. Now let's dance!
While that sketch was pretty well received, it didn't have the staying power of David S. Pumpkins, which by the way was written by the same people who wrote the Kevin Roberts sketch. I think the fact that it was a Halloween character is part of why it was more memorable. Unlike Kevin Roberts, who was just a weird guy in a colorful suit, David Pumpkins is essentially an audition for the Santa Claus of Halloween, as one of his writers put it. And given how many people continue to dress up as David Pumpkins for Halloween, I'd say he made a pretty good showing. But the most obvious contribution to the success of David Pumpkins is the person who plays him, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is generally considered to be a very good dramatic actor, but he also has an extensive background in comedy movies. My personal favorite is The Burbs. Tom Hanks has hosted SNL like 10 times, and he's always a good guest. You know how you watch SNL sometimes and the host is someone who you know isn't funny, but you watch anyway because you know it's probably going to be a train wreck?
I caught these two guys with 3 kilos of cocaine. What do you think they were doing with a making shark for girls' softball games?
When you got Tom Hanks hosting, you knew it was gonna be good. Also, he's one of those celebrities that everybody just seems to like. Someone who we all pretty much grew up watching and just seems like a kind, warm person. There's only a few celebrities that have that universal appeal, and a couple of them may have recently messed all that up. I'm rooting for you, Tom. So I don't think David Pumpkins would have been quite so successful if it wasn't Tom Hanks. But there is something else. When did I say that sketch aired? On October 22nd, 2016. Oh yeah, literally days before one of the most contentious and important presidential elections of all time, at arguably the peak moment of political divisiveness in America. So yeah, tensions are always high right before an election, but it was different in late 2016. Not saying things are much less stressful now, but the rise of Trump came packaged with a new era of political chaos that we still haven't really recovered from. We don't need to revisit it. I think we all remember. Everyone was just on edge and at each other's throats all the time. Then SNL drops this goofy, completely non-political, non-judgmental sketch during one of America's favorite holidays featuring one of America's favorite actors. It wasn't topical, it wasn't satire, it wasn't a parody, it wasn't some observation about some aspect of society. It was just a dumb character dancing and doing a silly voice.
Any questions?
It was a brief moment of joy in an otherwise chaotic time. And I'm not the first one to make this observation. I guess SNL just wanted everyone to come together and relax for at least a little while. So we latched on to the funny man with the pumpkins on his jacket. SNL usually has a very elder millennial, younger Gen X kind of vibe, which is me if you didn't know. We're the oldest folks who are still savvy enough to understand memes, but also we grew up before the internet, so most of us still have optimism about humanity, but perhaps they were a little too optimistic. David Pumpkins might only exist because of liberal hubris. And that's a weird hot take, which I'll attempt to justify, but first I need to tell you about Nebula. So for full clarity, I should say this video is sponsored by Nebula, but it's like my thing. I'm a part of it. Nebula is our creator-owned video platform where you can find some of the best independent creators from YouTube and beyond, including me. And your subscription directly benefits those creators, which helps us not have to rely entirely on YouTube ads to make a living. In exchange, you get high-quality, ad-free content, and many, if not most, Nebula creators actually release their YouTube videos days or even weeks earlier on Nebula. I personally have started publishing my videos a day earlier on Nebula, and many Nebula creators make content exclusively for Nebula, so you could be missing out on extra content from creators you love. It's like you come for T1J, but you stay when you find out Lindsay Ellis is dropping new videos on Nebula. And if you sign up using the link in the description, you can get Nebula for just a little over $3 a month. So please go check it out. The link is in the description. So that Tom Hanks episode of Saturday Night Live was a pretty solid episode overall. Lady Gaga was the musical guest, and she's never not dope. And like I said, Tom Hanks is always a treat. In fact, that same episode had another viral sketch featuring Tom Hanks. It was that Black Jeopardy sketch where he plays Doug, a Trump supporter who gives surprisingly accurate responses to the Black Jeopardy clues.
Skinny women can do this for you. Doug.
What is not a damn thing?
It is a hilarious sketch, but it also gives you a sense of the vibes SNL was giving out during the time. In the Jeopardy sketch, the white conservative finds common ground with his black neighbors. This might sound like a message of, can we all just get along? But if you remember the cold open of that episode, it reveals the full story. It was a classic political debate sketch. SNL's been doing those forever. And when it comes to politics, SNL definitely leans progressive and Democrat, but they usually do a good job of making fun of everyone. And I'm not trying to say that every person is equally deserving of the same amount of ridicule. I'm just saying what they usually do on the show. But this one was a little different. Alec Baldwin was certainly making fun of Donald Trump.
She wants open borders, and that is crazy. I mean, people are just pouring into this country from Mexico, And a lot of them are very bad hombres.
But Kate McKinnon wasn't really making fun of Hillary Clinton. All of her lines were her in character as Hillary Clinton making fun of Donald Trump.
Oh, bingo, I got bingo. Sorry. I've been playing all year and I got it. I have bad hombres. Miss Piggy, they're all living in hell, and if she wasn't my daughter.
And when she wasn't talking, she was grinning slyly or glancing at the camera in disbelief like Jim from The Office. Keep in mind, this was like 2 weeks before the election, and SNL was still doing sketches where the whole premise is, can you believe this guy's running for president? It's like, yeah, I can. We're past that. But here's the thing. Just like many other media sources and white liberals all over America, the folks at SNL were convinced that there was no way Trump would win. They literally say it in the sketch. And guess who delivers the line?
Mr. Trump, it has become very clear that you're probably going to lose.
Correct.
Maybe just wishful thinking. And I think that's actually how we got these viral characters, Doug the Friendly MAGA Man, and of course, David S. Pumpkins. The folks at SNL were so sure that everything was gonna calm down in a couple of weeks after Hillary Clinton became the president. So they felt emboldened to write these feel-good, lovable characters that transcended politics and were meant to try and bring everyone together. I understand that this is a lot of speculation, but I truly wonder if David S. Pumpkins would exist if more white progressives believed that Donald Trump was gonna win the election.
I'm David Pumpkins!
I know, but like, who are you?
I'm David Pumpkins, man!
Maybe it's a reach, but I feel like the vibe at SNL would have been way different. In 2022, 6 years after the original sketch, David S. Pumpkins returned for a sequel. It is exactly the same as the first sketch. Sometimes the premise of a sketch is so good that it's funny every time you do it.
All right, what happened?
But usually, since it's literally the same joke, it's less funny, but still charming. It's like a rock star coming back to play their greatest hits. You know, they probably can't sing as well as they could back in the day, but you still enjoy it. It does feel a little different though. There's one line in particular that sticks out to me.
I think he just wants to know what your deal is. Like, Annabelle is a possessed dog. David Pumpkins is...
taking it one day at a time.
Aren't we all? But I still found myself grinning from ear to ear when David Pumpkins returned. It reminded me of a brief moment of cultural happiness during a really stressful time for everybody. My favorite part about the whole thing is that Tom Hanks has on multiple occasions said he doesn't get the character or understand why people like it so much.
I don't exactly understand it. I mean, literally on Friday, actually Saturday morning, the name David S. Pumpkins meant absolutely nothing to anybody.
And apparently he initially didn't even want to do it. But he continues to play David Pumpkins seemingly whenever anyone asks him to, because he knows it makes people happy. So I guess the real message of this video is that Tom Hanks is dope. I hope he doesn't get canceled and make this video age poorly.
Any questions?
That's just me though. What do you think? I mentioned the Black Jeopardy sketch earlier. I actually made a video about those sketches, a link to which should be on the screen right now. Go check it out if you like. That's the end of the video though. Stay Heiko. Bye bye.